So if you're wondering why my hair is looking very greasy today, it's because last time I showered my hair it was last Friday, and today it's Wednesday because I want to have the natural oils in my scalp because we're going to bleach my hair today. The majority we're going to bleach are actually the roots. You can see these parts are blue because I did actually color my hair turquoise and I think it was midnight blue, and now since the color is starting to fade, the bleached parts are showing up much more, so the yellow parts underneath are making the hair look more sea green than turquoise. But that's no issue at all because I'm actually going to color my hair with sort of like a forest green, emerald green shades. It's going to be variants with deeper in the roots, and then it's going to fade out to more of a forest green, but some are also like apple green. They are different kind of shades of green that are similar in shades, but they are going to give some variance in tone. And also I have some variance in tone in my hair already, so it's going to give different types of tones of green, and it might have some bluish green with all these blue parts here. It's semi-permanent hair color, so it's not permanent hair colors with ammonia and all that. I haven't really colored them with semi-permanent colors without mixed in conditioner since June. Here are some parts that I think they didn't get enough bleach. I don't know if you can see, here it's blue, but here it's more of this ashy tone, and then it goes into turquoise. I need to actually bleach my hair to a point that it can actually take the pigments, because if I haven't bleached it enough, the pigment seems to fade much faster and doesn't really want to stay in the hair. So I'm gonna see if we can maybe do a bleach wash just in these parts so that we can see, because I don't want any bleach on the ends because they have already been through a lot, so I don't want to damage them more. You can see that they take color very well. I hope that Hair Buddha will be proud of me for actually getting the Blonde Me kit, because even though this is a little bit more expensive, in the end it's going to be much more worth it than just having to buy sets of these bleach dye kits over and over again, because here you can get the ratio that you actually need, and it's going to last you much longer, especially if you're just going to do this kind of spot bleaching, meaning touching up the roots. Even though these were a little bit more expensive, they're going to last me much longer, and I have some bleach when I need to touch up the roots again. And these are the shades I'm going for. I know they are smaller pots, since they are 3, they are going to be for different kind of like highlights. Some strands are going to be more of the spring green that is a brighter, it looks very dark in the pot, but after a few washes it's going to be much brighter. And then we have apple green, it's a little bit darker than spring green. Then we have alpine green, reminds me of the color Enchanted Forest by Manic Panic. This is an alternative, it's a bit smaller packaging than the Manic Panic, and I don't need that much. I'm going to use these for the roots. And I have some in this container, I have some of the Midnight Blue mixed in with a little bit of conditioner, so it's not going to be that much blue, it's going to be diluted with conditioner. And then I have the, I know it looks very dirty, but it's just stained from all of the coloring that I have done, but it's not dirty. This one has the Ebony by Direction, so it's a black. This one is also mixing with a little bit of conditioner. I'm thinking that I'm going to mix in the black and the blue with the green, so I have a sort of a deeper bluish green tone in the roots, but it's still going to have more of the green because it's not going to be diluted with conditioner like these two are. Then it's going to fade into the apple green and spring green. And I haven't really decided yet if I'm going to make some strands just fade in from alpine green to apple green. I'm going to have to see what looks best. And still I'm going to have variations in tone because I have variations in my hair already. This is going to be very exciting. I have colored my hair a lot of times and played around with shades, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Jag vet inte, jag tror att jag har ganska mycket utväxt.
Okay.
Det är inte bara hårbotten, så gör så, var inte rädd att ta mer än för lite, för vi kommer ändå behöva ha lite till de partierna som behöver blekas lite till. Jaha, sorry, när jag fokuserar på filma. So this is the state of my hair right now. We bleached all of the regrowth and the roots. The roots are obviously much brighter than the regrowth. We did a bleach wash that went over the length. We did a bleach wash mixed in with shampoo and warm water. At first nothing happened, so I think I added too much water and shampoo, so we added a little bit more bleach and bleaching powder, so it would actually increase the effect of the bleaching process, but still not as strong as just the bleach by themselves. I first took a shower to get rid of all the bleach in the roots and the regrowth. So we did the bleach bath on the length, but we didn't do the ends of the hair because they're already so fragile and damaged. We did an even application of the bleach wash or bleach bath on the length so it would even out the surfaces that wasn't bleached enough. So hopefully this time it's going to pick up the pigments much better. I'm gonna wrap my hair up in a t-shirt so it would be more gentle on the hair, so especially if you have frizzy hair, instead of having it up in a towel, it's better to have it wrapped in a t-shirt. So I'm gonna do that and let the hair dry a bit until it's like somewhere between towel dry and dry, because I feel that when it's completely towel dry it seems a bit too wet, so I'm going to let it dry a little bit more for hopefully the pigments to stick to all the bleached parts and the rest of the hair. So my hair has dried, wrapped in a t-shirt, and you can see that when I had it wrapped it had the hair back in a way that makes it look very weird now. When I actually removed the t-shirt it dried in this kind of weird look, and that's also because the hair is very dry since I have bleached it and I have only washed it with shampoo instead of having some kind of deep moisturizing treatment on it. You're supposed to apply the semi-permanent color after you had shampooed your hair. That's why it looks very dry, very weird. Yeah, it looks very frizzy and dry, but it's going to look much better once I have the semi-permanent pigments and had a hair mask and deep conditioner, obviously. I'm gonna mix in a custom mix. I think I want to mix in a little bit of blue and black to make sure that it actually gets as deep as possible. Especially since the roots are so bright now, I think it's better to have some black mixed in so I know it's going to be very deep. So I'm going to mix in that, and then after I have applied all of the roots with the deeper green, forest green shade, then I'm going to go in with some apple greens in the from here out, and I'm going to see which strands looks better if I just apply alpine green and apple green. Some strands I want to do a sort of like an ombre from alpine green, apple green, and finish off the ends with spring green. Also the bleach wash made some of those turquoise parts more like green tones now, so it's probably going to be much more green than having those blue undertones, but I'm fine with that. I'm going for a green hairstyle, so I don't know how much I'm going to record, but I'm going to show you a little bit of the process of when I'm applying the colors on the roots, and then I might go over to when I'm starting to apply color on the length and the ends of the hair. Quick pause, forgot about Vaseline. So I'm just gonna put on some Vaseline around the scalp and the areas that I don't want any pigment, so I'm just gonna get back to you once that's finished. So now I have applied the alpine green mixed in with a little bit of midnight blue and ebony into all of the root parts, and I also made sure that it went out a bit so it would actually fade into the other colors much better instead of having this kind of shadow root. I'm trying to make it look more like a fade from one color to the other. I made sure that I covered up all the areas that I have bleached because they are going to absorb the pigments of the semi-permanent hair color much more since they are so porous, and I definitely can see that they are sucking up all the pigment so it looks more and more green. Maybe it will absorb the midnight blue and the ebony a lot less because they are mixed in with some conditioner, but it might give a little tint of those tones also. Instead of sectioning out that these parts are going to have apple green and these parts are going to have spring green. I'm going to make more of a simple ombre of first applying apple green on the length and then apply spring green on the ends of the hair strands and blend them in as much as I can. I think it's going to give variations in tone no matter what because I already have so many variations in my hair. So I'm gonna try now with the apple green. I'm gonna try and blend it in with the alpine green and then go down a bit so the spring green can then fade in and I can rub in the colors together. I applied all the apple green, now 2/3 of the length of the hair, and blended it in a lot more with the roots. In some spots, especially around here, I actually reapplied some of the alpine green so I could easily blend it in with the apple green, but also reapply some green, mixed in a little bit of the black also so I could deepen it a bit more. Now it's all about applying spring green to the rest of the hair, and it looks like it's already spring green because the turquoise part, they got a little bit of bleach on them, so they are more closer to green now. It's going to give some very cool variations, I think. The different tones of the strands, some of the blue tones and some of the more minty tones are going to give a nicer variations in tone instead of just having an ombre of one shade here, one shade there and another shade at the ends of the hair. So we're gonna find out to see what that's going to look like. Hopefully you can see it in the camera. The result that it looks like now with the colors applied to my hair, it looks like the colors that I want. So we're going to have to see what it looks like once I have washed it off. No matter what, I really am in love with the colors that I have applied now. On camera it doesn't look that bad with my eyebrows, but I'm actually going to dye them off camera. And then I'm going to show you the finished result when I have tried to style the hair and dressed up a bit. So see you when that's done. So this is the finished result. Off camera I had to do a few adjustments because when I saw what the color looked like when it was dry, it actually looked too green. What I decided to do was to reapply some alpine green mixed in with a little bit of conditioner so it wouldn't be as bright, it would be a little bit diluted, but it still will give a little bit of a deeper tone to the length. In some of the strands, not all strands, I decided to reapply some of the alpine green just to deepen those strands. Some were reapplied with some of that spring green and some had more of the apple green again. And also I reapplied a lot more of the ebony mixed in with the alpine green in the roots so they would look much darker. I always colored my hair in color shades that were in the same color scale so I wouldn't have to re-bleach my entire hair. The only parts that I bleach are like the regrowth. At first I had purple and magenta, and when those started to fade out I started to use more of the blues and turquoise because the magenta seemed to fade out a lot more than the purples and blues. So reapplying the turquoise wasn't that much of an issue. into. So I had like blue and turquoise, and now when I'm going green I had the turquoise fade into more of a minty green, so I could easily apply apple green and spring green to these with no issue at all. This gap is obviously stained, but that will actually get removed after next time I take a shower. And you can see that I have also dyed my eyebrows, and they realize they look very dark, but obviously they are going to look less intense. That's going to take a couple of washes. I'm not a hairstylist, so I put my hair in a twisted bun when it was damp, and then I just let it dry a bit like that, and then let my hair down. So these are the curls that I have now, so they are just sort of natural curls, but yeah, this is the final result and I'm super happy. I feel like I'm definitely in the mood of autumn, fall, and closer to Halloween. Now I can start with darker shades of makeup and get to wear my leather coat again and all that. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this process of me experimenting with some new hair color and found it entertaining. See you in the next video that is going to be more art related than hair related, but yeah, see you in the next video.